Hi, everybody. This is Xixi Zhang, and welcome to the MongoDB podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a new course I created, A131, to help developers use MongoDB Charts.
Welcome to the show. Today, we've got Xixi Zhang from the MongoDB University. She's a senior curriculum engineer, and she's developed a brand new course on MongoDB Charts, the best way to create, share, and embed visualizations from your MongoDB data in MongoDB Atlas and Atlas Data Lake. Great discussion about the course, about how it was created. If you're a developer looking to visualize your data, want to simplify that process, you're going to want to know about this course. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the MongoDB Podcast. MongoDB Podcast? Exploring the world of software development, data, and all things MongoDB. And now your hosts, Michael Lin and Nick Raboy.
Welcome, Xixi. It's great to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's my first time on a podcast.
Terrific. Well, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience, let folks know who you are and what you do.
So, my name is Xixi Zhang, and I'm a curriculum engineer here at MongoDB University. And here at MongoDB University, I help create content that helps enables learners to use MongoDB's products in their day-to-day life and in their own applications.
Fantastic. And as a curriculum engineer, so do you create courses just for MongoDB University?
Yes, I only create courses for MongoDB University, and any course I create is hosted on university.mongodb.com.
So the course you created is in university.mongodb.com. How do folks get access to it? And does it cost money?
So the great thing about MongoDB University is that all the courses on it are free as long as you sign up with a working email, and you can take any course from the catalog of courses that we have. You can take one, you can take all of them. You don't have to finish if you don't want to, but there's a wide variety on there for free.
So this actually isn't our first exposure to charts on the podcast. We actually had episode 20 way back in the day with Matt Fairbrass and Tom Hollander, who are on the charts team, and they gave us a pretty in-depth kind of introduction to what charts are, why you would want to use them, what you can do with them. So if you're interested in learning more, like the technical nitty gritty, go ahead and listen to that episode. And by all means, please participate in the course as well. Don't treat it as an either or. But do you want to talk about how you actually created this course? So what went into it?
Yeah, so this course, I created it because we need Charts is a huge product coming from MongoDB, and it's really easy to use. However, we don't have any courses on it right now, and we wanted to create an introduction course to really teach people and show people that Charts is super simple to use, and giving them a very high level introduction to Charts and helping them take the first step into really integrating Charts into their applications.
Great. And for the folks listening, if you haven't gone to episode 20 yet, MongoDB Charts is a data visualization tool. It enables you, it's built right into MongoDB Atlas. There's a tab and you can access it, and it's intimately connected with the data that you're storing in MongoDB. So it makes it super simple to create charts and expose insights and analytics right inside of the console. So how long did it take you to create the course?
I would say it took me around 3 months, mainly because this was the first course I created on MongoDB, and I had to get used to a lot of the work processes and different tools that we use to create self-paced online courses versus what I was used to at my previous job.
So in that 3 months, can you give us a further breakdown on what went into it? So that way the listeners can get an idea of the type of quality that goes into the courses on the university platform. So how long did it take you to record each section? What was the editing process looking like? How many times did you have to do retakes? Things like that.
So I would say there's a huge checks and balances process that went into creating all the content. You have the initial product description where you scope out this course and you basically define what you want to put in this course, and that gets reviewed by the curriculum designers and other curriculum engineers, other people from my team. And then you start creating the content, outlining the content, in Google Docs in a Google Drive, and you start creating the slides, your script. You have SMEs, you ask subject matter experts on their opinion on what is in the content, and they can help guide like technical accuracy, and having them help you out with some content resources is super helpful. And then after you create all this content, first draft, you send it to be reviewed by another curriculum engineer, the secondary curriculum engineer, and it also gets reviewed by the curriculum designer as well, to make sure that like the content is very good, and like the quality is good, and that it really helps enable like learners from all sorts of backgrounds and cultures. And then after all the content gets approved, probably twice, all chapters, all lessons, etc., we start recording, and recording that you just create like a rough take and upload it for the video production team to edit. And once the video production team gives you the videos, you review it to make sure that like it looks the way you want it. You might have to tweak some things, you might have to re-record some things due to audio or visual quality, or just because you realize that you did something completely wrong or you wanted to redo something. And then after some back and forth with that, the curriculum designer again reviews the videos to make sure they're in tip-top shape to be put into the actual content and published.
I'm curious, you're mentioning curriculum designer and you're a curriculum engineer. What's the difference between those two roles?
Yeah, so I would say that the curriculum designer is really in charge of making sure that the content, there's some like method to this content that helps with like, that kind of deals with like psychology and like the science of learning, and how people learn the best, and making sure that the content that you're creating is best fitted for everyone to learn from, no matter where you're from, and what your like skill level is, and making sure that like there's like an organized structure to the content that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the depth and I love the thoughtfulness that goes into creating it. So you hadn't worked with MongoDB or charts prior to this, is that correct?
Yes, I had a 1 day introduction to MongoDB at my previous job, but that I kind of started at MongoDB not knowing anything about it.
Wow. And I'm curious about, what you learned and some of the key takeaways that you learned, in creating the course.
In creating the course, I would say that Charts is a very easy to use tool. It's insane how user friendly it is, and I really enjoyed the like live data portion of it, just seeing everything update in real time. That's pretty cool. And I would say that like MongoDB itself, or like the fact that it's like NoSQL, was really mind blowing to me in a way, because I took a SQL course in college, and I remember every single field had to be filled out with something. And the fact that I could like have a document with like a field that wasn't filled out and that actually still worked was kind of mind blowing to me initially. And I felt like the document model was definitely more developer friendly, where like you kind of treated it like objects, and from someone who's like taken object oriented programming languages, it was much easier to pick up, I would say.
So you said that when you started at MongoDB, prior to like the 1 day event that you had at your previous position, you really didn't have much exposure to MongoDB. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably went through the new hire technical training that we have at MongoDB to get you up to speed, which was you probably actually taking courses from the university platform. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we had a 2-part new hire training program where it had the NHTTPR prereqs and then the in-person NHTT. And part of the prereqs was taking basically the whole M001 MongoDB basics course and then bits and pieces from other courses. It was a lot of work, and it was definitely like drinking from the fire hose, and it was a lot to learn. Yeah.
So did that actually help kind of get the mentality or the flow going for your own course? on the same university platform?
I would say it helped give me like a good idea of like the outline, the structure that this course should follow, and the actual content and how to like format everything was I looked towards examples from M001 to like see the different types of learning activities that there are, the different types of learning assessments, what sorts of quizzes or quizzes multiple choice, fill in the blank, etc., can be put onto the university platform. So if I ever had like a question about outlines or formats, I definitely referenced M001.
So that brings me to my next question is, now that you've created this charts course, which is kind of a fundamental MongoDB technology right now, is it part of the current technical training for new hires?
No, actually, it hasn't been integrated into new hire technical training yet.
Not yet. All right.
Yeah, not yet.
Fantastic. And you mentioned little to no experience with MongoDB prior to embarking on the creation of this course, and that's interesting. But what did you do prior to coming to MongoDB?
So prior to coming to MongoDB, I was also a technical curriculum developer, but at Docker, which was acquired by Mirantis. But I was there for like 3.5 years, but mainly focusing on instructor-led training courses and not self-paced online courses.
Fantastic. Well, can you talk a little bit about the structure of the course and maybe a little bit of the content?
Yeah, so this course is very quick. It's one chapter long, and in this chapter, there are a few lessons, and within the lessons, it teaches you why you should use MongoDB charts, how it's useful, the different chart types that you can create, which are a lot depending, and you can pick the one best fitted for your needs and wants. And then it gets into actually using charts and helping you connect a data set to teach you how to get data into charts. And then it goes through making 3 different types of charts: text chart, bar chart, and geospatial chart. And then it teaches you how to kind of customize your dashboard that you have filled up with charts and how you can embed those charts into your applications, and really lets you see firsthand the power of live data and how amazing it is and how fast it is and just how customizable charts is. And it teaches you a little bit about like the dashboard permissions and how that works.
Great. So I love the embeddability. So I can go in, I've got data in MongoDB, I'm leveraging MongoDB Atlas, I can write my application to manipulate that data, and then I want to be able to visualize that data. So I go into charts, a dashboard. Once I have a dashboard, then I create a data source that points to a MongoDB database, and I expose that to a chart inside a database, inside a dashboard. And then this is one thing I really love. If I'm writing a web app, for example, there are 2 cool ways that I'd like to talk a little bit about this, that you can take that data and expose it in a web page, for example. Now, I think when I first worked with it, the only way to do that was to download. I think I would have had to maybe hit the bell because I'm kind of stumbling. There's the JavaScript method and
iframe.
That's it. So when I first started doing it, it was iframe only. But now you can actually use a library, I think, right?
Yeah, the JavaScript SDK. However, in this course, we're only using the iframe option.
Okay. So maybe we don't want to go into
JavaScript. Yeah.
Okay.
We hit
All
the
right.
bell again.
Yeah. Okay. So I love the embeddability of MongoDB charts. So if I'm leveraging MongoDB in MongoDB Atlas, I have access to charts. I can then expose the data from within my database in a dashboard. I can create a chart, and then I can take that chart and I can embed it in an application. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that works?
So to embed your chart into an application, you would have to, on your chart on the upper right hand side, there's like a drop down, like 3 ellipses that gives you the option to embed a chart. And you can either embed an unauthenticated chart, which is viewable by anyone, or embed a chart which requires users to authenticate through an embedding authentication provider. And you can definitely find out how to do that through our documentation. And so in this course, we're going to enable unauthenticated access. So once you click embed chart, you'd have to toggle the switch to see the options to the options that you have to enable unauthenticated access. So to embed it while using unauthenticated access, and the two options are iframe and JavaScript SDK. And in this course, we're going to demo using the iframe option. And once you select the iframe option, you have this whole embed code that shows up, and you can copy paste that into your application, and you can see it in real time updating in your application.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like folks to know about the course before we begin to wrap?
I would say it's a great introduction to MongoDB charts and really gets you started with experiencing the powerfulness and very easy usability aspects of MongoDB charts.
I think we should reiterate that this course is free, like all courses on the MongoDB University platform. So if you're looking for top-notch content from people who are officially working for MongoDB, it's a great opportunity to learn.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you can complete this course using the free tiers of Atlas and Charts, so there's no cost to you, and no other downloads necessary. And if you ever get stuck on an exercise or need more clarification on something, we have a forum for this course, and we have amazing curriculum service engineers who help answer questions along the way.
Oh, fantastic. And so once again, university.mongodb.com. What's the course number?
A131.
A131. And how do folks get into the forum if they do need to seek assistance?
It's linked in the lecture notes at the end of every single lecture section in the course. And there will be a button that says discussion at the top of the page.
Terrific. Xixi, thank you so much for spending time with us. It's been a great
Thank you so much
chat.
for having me. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. I don't know if we should redo that. I was kind of spoke over you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
No, we have separate. You can say it again if you want. We'll isolate it.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's
Okay.
all good. Sorry.
Separate tracks, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super. I think that was great.
Awesome.
Nice power-packed episode.
Yeah. A good
Terrific.
mini episode for a mini course.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Okay, so we'll download this.
Hit
We'll
that
chop it
hit
up.
the stop button first.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Have a question or a suggestion for the show? Visit us in the MongoDB community forums at community.mongodb.com.